Hi everyone, welcome back to a new video. Today we have this graphics card. This right here is a Club3D R9 290 Royal King. This GPU was released back in November of 2013 and is based on the Hawaii Pro graphics processor, and it comes clocked in at 975 MHz. This card has 4GB of GDDR5 memory, which comes clocked in at 1250 MHz. This card has 2560 shading units, 160 TMUs, 64 ROPs, and it supports up to DirectX 12. Let's find out what this beast is capable of in 2021. So, first off, time to get this card out of its home, my new gaming PC that I cleaned a couple of videos ago. Like you can see, this PC was dusty and so was the card. So now it's time to clean it. I first took the whole card apart and you can just see the dust that is inside of it. After that, it was first time to clean the die and the PCB. Like you can see, it turned out pretty well. Then it was time to clean all of the GPU parts. Here's the before and after of everything. After that, it was time to put some new thermal paste on the GPU and put it back together again. Now it's time to have a look at the card. The card has these two fans to keep it cool, and from my experience they do a good job. As for connectors, this card has a 6 plus 8 pin connector for power, and for video out, this card has a DisplayPort connector, an HDMI port and 2 DVI ports. After that, it was time to upgrade. Yup, this card is going in my new PC and it will be replacing my HD 6970. This will also be on my test system and it features an Intel Core i7-3770K, 8GB of DDR3 RAM, and an Asus Sabertooth Z77 motherboard. Time to boot up the PC for the very first time with this card installed. Then it was time to install the drivers. This card still has driver support, which I think is awesome. Good job AMD. Now time for some benchmarks. First off, user benchmark. User benchmark showed that the i7 was performing above expectations while the R9 290 was performing below potential. Time for another benchmark, Heaven. On the high quality preset, the card got an average FPS of 104.8 and a score of 2640. Now time to test some games. First off, Minecraft. On high settings with a render distance of 10 chunks, Minecraft got an average FPS of 79, with 1% lows of 35 FPS and 0.1% lows of 22 FPS. This might seem low in comparison with the HD 6970 from the previous episode, But I usually use Bad Lion Client, which offers an FPS boost mod, and in there I went from around 250 FPS in game to around 400. Time for Roblox. On the highest settings, Roblox got an average FPS of 56, with 1% lows of 30 FPS and 0.1% lows of 2 FPS. Well, with a card this powerful, Roblox being playable comes as no surprise. A game that was very easy to run was Freddy Fazbears Pizzaria Simulator, but with this powerful of hardware that comes as no surprise. The same story goes for Ultimate Custom Night, which was also very easy to run and was more than playable. On the highest settings with scaling set to 300%, Euro Truck Simulator 2 was for sure playable. The card got an average FPS of 64, with 1% loads of 38 FPS and 0.1% loads of 1 FPS. With the visuals bumped up to this high, the game also looked very realistic. And Bus Simulator 12 once again shows that it is very poor in being able to get good FPS. On medium settings, the card got an average FPS of 30 with 1% loads of 10 FPS and 0.1% loads of 4 FPS. CSGO was more than playable. On medium settings I got a max FPS of 736 in the benchmark, while in game I was hovering around 300 to 400 FPS. BeamNG ran surprisingly well. On the highest settings this card got an average FPS of 79 with 1% loads of 53 FPS and 0.1% loads of 30 FPS. On medium settings, Bus Simulator 16 was more than playable, although I did encounter some lag spikes. I got an average FPS of 46 with 1% loads of 3 FPS and 0.1% loads of 1 FPS. PC Building Simulator could be maxed out at the highest settings. Using the highest settings, the card got an average FPS of 60 with 1% loads of 47 FPS and 0.1% loads of 7 FPS, which make this card definitely suitable for this game. Another game that ran at the highest settings was Fortnite. Using the highest preset, this card got an average FPS of 52 with 1% loads of 14 FPS and 0.1% loads of 7 FPS. For the last game, I tested GTA 5. On high settings, this game ran absolutely fine, averaging an FPS of 60 with 1% loads of 37 FPS and 0.1% loads of 32 FPS. GTA 5 is definitely an enjoyable experience with this card. And today, it wasn't time to uninstall the drivers or even shut down the PC, since this card will be staying in my PC as this is my new GPU. Now, what is my opinion on this card? At first, I thought that this card would definitely be better than my old HD 6970, but it turned out to be much better than I expected. The fact that this card still has driver support and that it has 4GB of VRAM makes it a good choice for a gaming PC if you are on a budget. According to Tech Power Up, the R9 290 is 1% faster than the RX 470 and is only 5% slower than an RX 570. The GPU is also very silent when not in use, but when you are using it, it is definitely audible, but everything is better than the reference design of the R9 290. All in all, I would definitely recommend this GPU. And with that, this video comes to an end. Thanks so much for watching, comment, like, subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye!